So over the past 1 week plus, we have seen weakness in the US and also Singapore technology sector. Many of those growth stocks got hit as well because there were talks about a rate hike, all right, because of inflationary numbers coming up way above expectations. It's like the highest in like 3 decades, right? And whenever there are any talks about rate hikes, many of these growth stocks get hit. The technology sector stocks get hit as well because many of these stocks, they're looking at like future cash flow, future earnings and all that. And whenever there are like talks about a rate hike, they kind of like discount the value of this earnings, right, which is like lesser and makes these stocks less attractive, right? And that's why we saw some weakness over the past 1 week plus in these tech stocks, right? So today's video, all right, we'll look at the Singapore technology sector again, right? So we have covered many of those stocks in the Singapore technology sector a couple of weeks back, and we have seen weakness in it, but we are seeing buyers starting to come back up again over the past 1-2 weeks of weakness, right? And today we'll be covering I would say these 3 to 4 stocks in the Singapore technology sector: AEM, Frencken, UMS, and maybe ISDN, right? These are pretty much the 4 stocks: AEM, Frencken, UMS, and ISDN. These are stocks which are seeing a bit of rebound right now. So I have people asking me, are they good for like to push higher, or can we actually see a bit more profit taking? So yes, make sure you watch this video all the way to the end if you are indeed holding on to stocks like AEM, Frencken, UMS, and ISDN, or you're thinking to get in again. Definitely you will have a better idea after watching this video. So the first stock I would like to talk about would be this company called AEM, right? One of those really good Singapore technology counter. We have been like consolidating over the past 3 to 4 months, but in terms of the longer term, the uptrend looks quite intact. So I've covered this stock, I would say many times over the past few months in some of those videos where I talk about the Singapore technology sector, right? So this is AEM currently trading at about $4.74, right? So we have seen quite a bit of a bullish action. Let me just show you what I mean. I will say just yesterday, we managed to break above this $4.30. So in my previous video, I did it a couple of weeks back. I mentioned about this range that we were pretty much trading over the past like 4 to 5 months. Look at this right here, about $3.90. So let me just go to draw it for you right here. You can see that this was pretty much the range since like June, all right, from $3.90 all the way to about $4.25, $4.30. We've been like moving up and down, up and down. So in terms of the short term, we were actually consolidating from like $3.90 to about $4.30, all right, which is like a 40 cents range. I talked about it, right? So a couple of months back, we kind of dipped down, all right. Yeah, I think just about a month back, we dipped down to this support level right here around the $3.90, and same thing, we have rebounded again, right? So this is pretty much what we call an area of value, whereby people are starting to come back in, and we have covered it many times. Each time it comes back to here, if we do see any good bullish reversal price action, that's where you can think about getting in to ride the rebound again. So you have got in here, well done, all right. That's where we have seen a bit of a rebound again, all right, back to that 430, right, 430 level. And I was actually looking at some selling pressure right here, a bit of profit taking. And yeah, about a week back, when we saw weakness in the Singapore technology sector, even the US sector sold off as well due to like inflationary numbers coming in way higher, all right. That's where we saw some profit taking, all right, which is normal, right? 430, we see some selling here, which is normal. We have seen it here as well last about 2 months ago, about in August we saw it as well, right? But the thing is, over the past 2 days, right, for AEM, we managed, right, to break the $4.30, right? So yes, just yesterday, we sent out a note to clients as well, all right, and yes, we have broken this $4.30, which we have been pretty much consolidating below since like February. So it's about 8 to 9 months, I would say, below this 430. So when we see this move yesterday, all right, it's quite a good move, all right, kind of close at about $4.38. So I think it was about 434, 433 around there when we spotted this, all right. We kind of like set an alert for it, and yes, that's a good move, right? So we have drawn some targets all the way up from like 430 all the way to around that $4.80 level yesterday, right? And yes, we have kind of like headed to our target. I think today the high is at 480, right? Yes, so about 480 target, and we saw some selling pressure coming back, which is normal, right? So why is it 480? Look at this right here. just somewhere in February, as I mentioned just before, we sold off. All right, we can't approach this like 470 to 480 levels. So I was expecting a bit of profit taking near that 460, 480 range, and that's where our upside targets were drawn. So right now, I mean, the fact that we've gone up by like more than like 10% in like about 2 days, that's where we can see some profit taking. So I think if you've got in here, it's also good to kind of lock in some profits, or maybe you want to protect your profits as well. Make sure you raise the stop loss upwards. Maybe if you do come back down below like 470, you can also take steps to protect your profits. I mean, before it like comes all the way back down, right? But right now, I would say we still look good, right? We still look good. I think right now we might see a little bit of a support, hopefully coming back around that 460 to 470 level. We have to see how it plays out over the next few days, or maybe next 1 or 2 weeks. All right, that's where we can see if there's like a firmer, higher support that can be formed, and we might actually consolidate here. Yeah, hopefully in this range. Maybe 460 to 480, and eventually if we can break this 480, right? I think if we can break this 480, it's pretty much an all-time high, and that's where I would say the uptrend can really start to form up much clearer. All right, from 480 all the way to like $5 to maybe 520, that could potentially be the upside above the 480 level, right? But right now, I would say this is still pretty much the consolidation phase. All right, anything from like 460 to 450, that could potentially be like a new support level. So let me just go ahead to turn this line to green in color. All right, this line would be the 430 level. So I'm not too sure whether we'll go back down to like 430, or if we can actually raise this like resistance turn support line a bit higher, maybe about 440. That could actually be like the new support level for now, right? So this AEM, all right, it's looking quite good. All right, we're pretty much consolidating sideways over the past 4 to 5 months. Longer term uptrend was intact, but the fact that we've broken this $4.30, I would say that buyers are pretty much serious, right, to take it even further, and that's where the uptrend can start to form up even faster. All right, and that's what you want to take note of, right? So if you are looking to get in, maybe to wait for a pullback or a dip to near the 450, 440, 450 mark, and see you can get in and maybe ride the rebound again and a potential break of 480, right? So this AEM right here. So guys, if you like this video so far and you found value, all right, I would appreciate if you can give me an early thumbs up or a like. It would definitely help out the channel, and thank you so much for doing this. And of course guys, smash the subscribe button as well if you're not yet done so that you will not miss out on any videos like this, right? So let's move back into the next stock. Okay, so next one would be Frencken, right? One of those technology stocks that I like as well in the Singapore market, and we have seen a bit of weakness as well. Over the past 1 week, we sold off from like about 240 to around the 220, and I was actually expecting a bit of strength coming back, anything from like 210 to 215. This was actually where some targets were drawn over the past few days, all the way back up to that $2.30 first, and of course after breaking the 230 is pretty much back to that 250. So there were some targets that were drawn. You can see this is where we kind of rebounded from, all right, somewhere in like October, about like a month back, all right, and this is where we had some bullish reversal candle, a few doji candles right at the support level, and that's where we started to see that rebound. But of course the market sold off and we came back down as well. So when we come back down, you can see right at this level around like 215, 216, you can see buyers started to come back again, and the rebound actually happened. And this is also where the red line, the 100 days moving average. I've talked about this red line, the 100 days moving average, whereby prices have rebounded many times. I would say since like the beginning of the year, right over here we rebounded, it kind of sold off, we rebounded as well. We neared it again somewhere in October, we rebounded as well, and same thing, right? For the 4th time, we have approached this red line, the 100 days moving average, and rebounded from it again, right? So obviously this 100 days moving average seems like some sort of a dynamic support level, and each time it nears it, and of course if we were to approach that horizontal support level as well, which is an area of value, that's where we are seeing a very high chance of a rebound. This is what we are seeing again. All right, so yes, we have kind of rebounded, and targets were to around the 250, right, $2.50 level. Look at this right here. This was where we were somewhere about 2 months back in September, and we sold off from 250 to about the $2.10, and we are pretty much back here again, right? So I would say that, yeah, I mean, it looks quite good. I mean, we're probably seeing a bit of profit taking here. I think today the day high is about 248. So yeah, I mean, you can take some profit, lock in some partial profits, that's fine as well, because it is normal to see a bit of profit taking right in this area from 245 all the way to 250, because that is where we actually saw selling previously, right? So I might be, looking at it consolidating slightly, all right, below the 250, because that's where people might want to take some profit as well, given that it's risen by more than, I would say, like 10 to 13% over the past 2 days. That's where people want to take some profit, right? So it might consolidate below 250, and hopefully we break this $2.50 mark. I think if we can break the 250, that would be a good thing. We might actually revise our targets higher from 250 all the way to the $2.60, maybe to the $2.80 level. That could potentially be the next upside targets for Frencken after $2.50 now. All right, so this is Frencken right here, trading about $2.47 right now. Okay, so let's take a look at UMS, also another Singapore tech stock that I like as well. And we have seen a bit of weakness, all right, when we approached the resistance about a couple of months back. I think about 1 month back, all right, we saw a bit of resistance, a bit of selling near the $1.40. We came down to around 130. So I was actually expecting it to, probably hit to near the 120 to 125. That was where actually some upside targets were drawn right here, all the way back up. And why is it at 120 to 125? Because you can see, right, this was where we were, and we saw quite a really good bullish reversal candle. This is something like a doji, all right, and it happened right around here at a 120. So this is the 120. We were pretty much kept below. It's a resistance level right here all the while before June, all right. Of course, UMS has done like a kind of like a bonus issue, a 1-for-4 bonus issue, so prices has adjusted downwards, but we're looking at the adjusted price, which is also okay, right? So basically 120 based on the adjusted price was the resistance, turn support level, and this level right here, you can see we saw a doji. So you kind of like firm up this support level, and it's also where the 200 days blue line, the 200 days moving average line is as well. So I was actually expecting it to kind of hit to maybe 120 to 125, and that's where we can expect some good bargain hunting, or maybe loading up more to catch the rebound, right? But yes, over the past 2 days, right, somewhere around that 126, 127, I think people have started to come back in already, all right, which just happened, right? Sometimes it just doesn't go where you want it to go, right? It might just go like somewhere around there in the halfway mark, and then it might start to rebound. So if you're like queuing to get it at 121 or 123, you might not get it, you might miss it. But this is how the market works, right? It doesn't always go to where you want it to go so that you can get it, and then you can start to rise up for you, right? Okay, so yes, you kind of rebounded, all right, and same thing like the other technology stocks in the Singapore market, we've rebounded and pretty much back to the $1.40, right? 140, I would say that is pretty much the resistance level for now. Over the past July to now, I would say about 3 to 4 months, of course, based on the adjusted prices, we are kept below, and that's where we are seeing huge number of sellers as well from the market depth, right? So yeah, I think we can probably see a bit of profit taking here. We might consolidate, and that's where you can also think about taking some profits. But I think same thing like many of those resistance levels, like for AEM, for Frencken, if we can actually break this 140, I think we do see some really good bullish price actions. That's where we can revise our targets high as well, all the way to maybe like 150 to maybe 160. That could potentially be the next upside for UMS, right? Yeah, so I would say that this company looks good. I mean, one of those stocks that we have covered many times, all right? In the short term, we did see a little bit of profit taking, but each time it pushes back down to some of those really good support. In the long term, all right, that's where buyers start to come back and bargain hunt, and we saw a rebound many times. And of course, look at this, right? The red line, 100 days moving average, and the blue line, they're both pointing up. So mid to long term trend is still looking really strong in terms of the upwards direction, and that's where you can think about getting in on counters like this, especially on dips, and especially if it were to hit to some of those areas of value or those hot zones, right, whereby you can start to think about getting in and time your entry. All right, so this UMS right here, $1.38. So let's see if we can actually break the 140, all right, over the next few days. Okay, so the next and final SG tech stock I'd like to share with you would be this company called ISDN, right? So we have covered it many times as well. It's one of those stocks I would say not as strong as Frencken, UMS, and AEM, but we are pretty much still moving sideways for now. So let's just cover it again, all right? And this is pretty much where we are right now, about 645, right? 0.645. So I talk about this support level that has formed up, we'll say, since like 5 to 6 months back. Let me just go ahead to draw this support line right here, which is about that 60 cents, right? So these 60 cents, we have been like rebounded, we have rebounded over the past, I would say, 2 months, right? Many times, and it kind of like went up to somewhere around 67 to 70 cents. And unfortunately, sellers is still coming back here. So that is pretty much the range, right? If I can just give it a bit more leeway from 60 cents all the way to 70 cents, right? But you can see that, since like, September, October, we did not really hit to like near 70 cents, somewhere around like 66, 67, and sellers are pretty much back again, right? And that's also where the longer term moving averages are. Look at this, right? The red line and the blue line, which is the 200 days moving average, and the 100 days moving average are right here as well. So that's where, from 66 to 70 cents, that's where we can see some profit taking. So I would say that this company is pretty much still like consolidating for now. It wouldn't look as strong as like AEM and Frencken, which has kind of like rebounded back to our previous high, and we might actually attempt to push higher. For this company, we're still like trading at the lower end, and we are still in this range from 60 to 70 cents. So short term wise, I would say that is pretty much the consolidation phase. For the longer term, all right, it's still hard to say because we are actually still consolidating. Of course, in the previous, like last year, the uptrend was quite firm in terms of the long term, right? Look at this, the red line was pointing up, the blue line is pointing up, so very firm uptrend all the way until like somewhere around August, whereby we saw quite a huge sell down, and since then we have been consolidating, right? You can look at this, right? The red line is like moving flat, the blue line is like flattening out as well. Even though the red is above the blue, that's good, but we are like both moving sideways. Okay, so yeah, I think hopefully we will like consolidate here, and if we do break this like 70 cents, I think that can be a good sign of a good reversal coming back up for the uptrend to start continuing again. And that's where you can see the moving averages will start to turn up, the green going back above the red and blue line. Then that would be a good sign of a reversal. So if not, we might actually still be in this consolidation from 60 to all the way to that 70 cents level, right? So this is ISDN right here, trading at about 0.645. Okay, so there we have it. We have pretty much covered 4 of the Singapore tech stocks, which is like AEM, Frencken, UMS, and ISDN. So these are pretty much the 4 stocks which has risen over the past 1 to 2 days. We're seeing some good strength, but at the same time, as I mentioned, we are heading to some of those resistance level whereby we are actually seeing some profit taking. So yeah, make sure you have a plan. If you want to take some profit, lock in some partial profits, that's perfectly fine. Or also take steps to protect your profits. If you have like got in somewhere at the bottom, you have caught the rebound, well done, but can take steps to protect your profit. So in case it were to like reverse back down to some of those levels, you want to think about getting out first and maybe wait for a pullback all the way back down to get in again. Alright, so this is pretty much what is covered today. AEM, Frencken, UMS, and ISDN. I hope you like this video and you now have a clearer picture or clearer view of these 4 stocks, the SG Tech stocks that you're holding. And make sure you give me a like as well if you have found value in this video, and of course smash the subscribe button. It will definitely help out the channel, and thank you so much for doing this, right? So Joey here, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to see you in the next video. Take care.